What is up, Fantasyland? Welcome to a very, very, very special edition of the GOAT District live via the Player Profiler Network. But tonight, we're not live. This is pre-recorded. As you guys might know, draft rooms at this very moment are on fire. Draft boards are filling at rapid pace. And the GOAT District team, Dan Williamson, Theo Greminger, myself, JD, and maybe Andrew shows up. The Schellenberg are drafting an FFPC main event. $2,000 buy-in, $1 million grand prize. Grab yourself a cold one, sit back, and let's get.
GOAT District, you know the Pope listens. Dynasty, our religion, for the blokes missing. On all of these trades, on all of these plays, on all of these grades. By the end of the day, y'all getting played. So, what you gonna do next? Try to fill up that flex? Send the homie a text? That trash offer's the best? You try to make it complex, then they text you back. Now all of a sudden, they don't make any sense. Broaden your horizons, boy. Dynasty's not for the Simons, boy. These trades not for consignment, boy. Respect your opponent, y'all some piranhas, boy. This my advice, from me to you. Open up your cute little podcast queue. Search up GOAT District, my dude. Pop it in your ear, man, y'all know what to do. It's the... And I always be trading. And I always be trading. And I always be trading. Y'all try to betray them, but first you gotta bait them. Fish.
What is up, Fantasyland? Welcome back in the GOAT District, live via the Player Profiler Network. And I'm with the Dan Williamson and, of course, Theo Greminger. Boys, we're rocking a main event tonight. This is the big one. We're going to be doing one together in Vegas, live, at least one together. I know Dan and I are doing one. I'm sure you two are splitting one. Andrew's probably in there somewhere. But tonight, we're doing this on the FFPC, our favorite site, myffpc.com. Go check it out. And we drew the one spot. Theo, how you feeling about that? You've done a bunch of these. How you feeling about the one spot?
So I've had the one spot before. It's amazing. You get Justin Jefferson, or if you want to get cute, you can go Jamar Chase. I'm not a Kelsey guy there, JD. I'm one of those two big wide receivers. I know you are as well.
Yeah.
But where it gets interesting is the 2-3 turn. The 2-3 turn, like a lot of times we get really excited when like 210 comes around and we're like, oh my God, it's going to happen. And then we get double sniped and then you have to pivot. I had one with Andrew Schellenberg. Where is Andrew, by the way? We're drafting a main, Andrew. Get in the stream, man.
He's doing the Phil Hellmuth appearance.
We did a one with the Guilds, Andrew Geller, who's a really good FFPC drafter, and we got the one. We took Justin Jefferson, and then we thought for sure we were going to get Jalen Hurts and Devonta Smith at the 2-3 turn to give us that correlation. The guy it was a 2-hour slow. The guy took right down to the wire, and he timed out and got Devonta Smith. So then we ended up going Jalen Hurts with Jahmyr Gibbs, which we thought made us a little bit unique, and it gave us an explosive running back. So, like, I don't know. There's so many good players at the 2-3 turn, but a lot of times that's the key for this draft for us, because we got Justin Jefferson, we got 25 points per game. Let's maximize the 2-3 turn.
Yeah, without a doubt. I mean, honestly, the 2-3 turn, if everybody does their job down the board in the second round, it sucks a little bit.
Yeah.
Not even gonna lie. Because you feel like there's just basically a teardrop right before you get there. So hopefully one or two players will not do their jobs and we'll reach on a couple guys and we'll have a better 2-3 turn. But anyway, part of the fun of the number one pick is you do have JJ, so that helps. It just keeps you from worrying so much about that 2-3 turn, and then you have a pretty decent 4-5 turn. So it all averages out.
And Justin Jefferson, not J.J. Zachariason, who's in the 107.
And I mean, it's kind of fitting, guys. I mean, we wrote J.J. for a few years now. We've been big fans. We were one of the first channels, I think, to call him as being a 1 before he became a 1. So it's just fitting. Dan was the original 101, J.J. I mean, there's so many storylines here I could go on. How do you feel? I'm looking at the stack tracker over there at Mojo. I like to keep it open while I'm doing these in case there are decisions to make. Dan, how important is it, and at what point of the draft are you paying attention to being unique, if at all?
I'm always interested in being unique, but not at the price of dropping down in player talent. So I want the best players without a doubt. If there's a way I can do that and be unique, I'm good with that. If I'm not unique, I'd rather lump in with a few other people who are also on the same really good players. Because sooner or later you're gonna get unique anyway. It might be 3, 4, 5, 6 rounds down, but by that time you're gonna be unique.
And JD, I think that like Dan hit the nail on the head. Also, we talked about the amount of main events that we're splitting. Like me, you, and Dan, I think are splitting 2 main events. So we don't have like 10, 12 bullets together. So we want to do is the best we can with this build. And also, guys, it's a nice payday to win the league. And I want to win the league to go along with getting to the postseason. I think a lot of people look and say, hey, I'm going to go win that million, but let's win a big, nice payday. And then if we get to the postseason, there's a lot less people to compete with. We'll take our chances. And we'll get unique on the waiver wire too, guys. I think that we know how to do FFPC waivers well, and we know how to grind, and we know who not to bid on. And JD, you talk about we were on Justin Jefferson this time. Check the receipts, everybody. We had Jalen Waddle. We were all about drafting Jalen Waddle last summer, and we had some big names in the fantasy industry telling us to fade Jalen Waddle coming in the GOAT District. We pushed back on that every time, and he was a beast. And I think that the way we evaluate, players in this sort of situation, like we have the receipts to prove it, and we're going to do it again this year.
Absolutely.
Dan, you usually are the man that tracking these things. I'm trying to confirm here. What is that first place to win the league, just so that the peeps know if they're getting into a main event for the first time?
I believe it is 4,000 if you win, plus you get 2,000 if you finish with top points or best record. And then if you sweep both of those, you get an extra $500. So you can get up to $6,500 for winning your league,
which is more than tripling your buy-in, right? Which is
correct. Yeah,
which is not bad for two different extra opportunities there. Yeah, total 5,000 is reward. You're right, to 1 seed and 2 seeds.
Let me ask you guys one player who I think might be there when we're picking that. Josh Jacobs. Like, I'm not like extremely excited, but I do think he gives us an RB1, and he would give us like kind of a weekly floor at the position and kind of allow us to go elsewhere. We already know we're probably playing catch up at tight end from out of the 101 because you could potentially take Waller here, but if you pass on him, then you're going to get priced out of Mandrews, you get priced out of Waller, and you don't know what that 4-5 is going to hold. So we can't just be, a bunch of wide receivers in a cloud of dust. I feel like we have to have an edge. I love the guys you have in the queue right now. Saquon, Garrett Wilson, Mark Andrews, Jalen Waddle, Chris Olave, DeVonta Smith. They're probably all going to be gone. But
I added Derrick Henry because I'd take him over Josh Jacobs.
100%.
I was just going to ask Dan that.
I think he's going to be gone though, Dan. Like, I don't know. Yeah.
He goes. Yeah, like at the 210-ish is where he seems to be going. He went at the 2.5 actually in a fantasy pros. So main event, he's going at the end of the second. Josh Jacobs, like you're saying, Theo makes it to the end. I'd love to see Devontae Smith make it, and we could even go Devontae Hurts.
That would be awesome. And I feel like that one just doesn't happen
often
as much as you think. I feel like somebody always breaks it up.
You're right.
So
you're right.
I don't know. That would be great.
That tier receivers, they stay pretty close. Like from AJ Brown, Devontae Adams. After those guys, you see Olave, Waddle, Smith, pretty much in whatever order. But those three, and then usually Ridley is kind of find his spot after that. Barkley goes off the board here. Yeah, kind of as expected, right? Beginning of the second.
Yeah, it's chalky start. The Bijan Pollard teams, the Saquon Bijan teams. Dan and I have a Saquon Eckler. You're seeing some like really not in the FFPC, but in another high stakes format. We have an Eckler Saquon start. I feel like those you can do a really powerful RB start now from the back. Not too many people are doing it either. You see only one team in our league with that RB start.
Yeah, that's what makes it fun. And then you know, it's not too hard to catch up at wide receiver if you go RB, and then you just don't do RBs for a while and just pound away at wide receiver. Maybe throw in a quarterback.
From four to seven, Dan, is like a gold mine for receivers from 4 to 7. So it's, you can easily build, especially starting with JJ. You got a couple more guys in those ranges, you're fine.
So we need somebody to kind of get unique and interesting here in the back half.
Yep.
That would really help us a lot. Like Dan and I were in a draft where Jahmyr Gibbs went like 20th overall, and that kind of helped us kind of make our build. And I think sometimes this time of year, you see it. There goes Derrick Henry, JD. So we're
if Josh Jacobs goes off ahead of us, we do have a chance. See, with Andrews there, we have a Devontae Smith chance here. It's only 3 picks left. I would love to get Smith and Hurts.
I would love that. I think Olave would be an auto pick for us. That would be a there goes Olave.
Olave's gone.
Yep. Now it comes down, does somebody want Josh Jacobs here?
Yeah. There he goes.
Well, I'll say this. I'll throw Mahomes in the queue as well. Yeah. I love Hurts, but I do feel like the Mahomes and Jefferson. I'm curious, Dan, what on Mojo is more common? They're both common, but maybe less common because you see a lot of those Kelsey teams forcing the Mahomes pick.
All right.
I've got it open here.
JD, you got that?
Yeah.
Ridley opens us up to a big stack if we wanted to go in that direction because we'll have exposure to a bunch more Jaguars and Trevor Lawrence.
Mm-hmm. I wish I gave you the total.
Okay, so we have Jalen Hurts, Patrick Mahomes, Josh Jacobs in the queue. Wide receiver wise, if we wanted to push a tight end, Darren Waller, really take him early. I feel like I've been doing that a lot lately.
If you like Jacobs, I don't even hate going Jacobs and Mahomes here because you've got a divisional stack there. You've got 2 guys that you can play naked. You don't necessarily need to stack.
The only negative with this, let's make a decision. If we're going to go quarterback here, which way do you guys want to go between Hurts and Mahomes? Or do we want to lock in the Jacobs pick and then talk about that? Because I will say we do have a Week 13 bye with Justin Jefferson. I'm not that worried about it. We've got to score the most points, though. That's super annoying to have our RB1 and our wide receiver 1 in Week 13 buys.
Yeah, I would tend to go quarterback and then Waller.
So let's
do you want Hurts or Mahomes?
Let's do Mahomes.
Okay, I'm putting it in.
Good.
Mahomes is in.
Let's not do Jacobs then, because I'm looking at a Justin Jacobs and a Mahomes.
So Darren Waller also has a Week 13 bye.
Yeah, that's true.
So again, there's many ways to skin a cat here, and we do have Patrick Mahomes.
Could go Gibbs.
And doesn't want to go Gibbs. I feel like it comes down to Jacob. I feel like it's Jacobs versus Waller, guys, is the most dangerous. JD, you put in T. Higgins. I don't hate that.
No, I didn't put Higgins. I didn't put Higgins.
I put in Higgins.
Yeah.
I hate it, but I put it in.
I mean, Dan, but in your heart's heart, Keenan Allen it might outscore T. Higgins.
Right.
So it's like it's kind of flat. I feel like for us, if we get Josh Jacobs, it allows us to
Jacobs,
draft.
Man. Go Jacobs. That's what we said.
Well, Dan,
initially.
do you want Waller or do you want Jacobs?
I'm fine with either one. I have some early Waller.
I feel like we have no Jacobs.
Let's do Jacobs. None of us have Jacobs, man. Let's go Jacobs. I like it.
Okay, so we took Josh Jacobs. So our start, if you're listening on the podcast version, is we went with Justin Jefferson, Patrick Mahomes, and Josh Jacobs. This would have been a great team last year, guys.
Yes.
If the points carry over, we're looking really, really good.
And what I was looking at was actually the 2-day ADP, so it was an actual draft board. So I mean, even if it's common, you can differentiate and with the next,
Shout out to Chris Ebel, who I'm drafting against in New York this weekend. He took the Jefferson Jacobs start in the NFFC Super. Dan and I drafted against him in. So I like that. I like that a lot.
Dan, scroll that bad boy up a bit. Sorry, I changed the view because I know the peeps like us at the bottom. There you go. Not too high, not too high. Try to get under that Millie Billy logo there. Thanks, buddy.
There we go.
All right, so we're midway through the third now. Like we said, JJ, Mahomes, Jacobs from the 1 spot. I mean, pretty chalk everywhere else, guys. Anything stand out so far?
No, I think Joe Mixon there is a little early for me.
Yeah. I would agree with that.
Rarely see him go ahead of T.
Yeah, and I think in a tournament setting, taking Joe Mixon over Jahmyr Gibbs, taking him over Ramondre, like I'll take a younger back with a little bit more juice. Like, I don't know. I think Mixon's getting way overdrafted right now. We liked him a couple. I mean, we talked about him, when we were drafting in like June, we were like, oh my gosh, Joe Mixon's such a value. And you were getting him in like the 6th round then. And now you're getting him in the 3rd round. No, I'm not. That's not for me.
Yep. Yeah. And the thing about Jacobs too, taking him there, it's like I kind of would rather have been able to do somebody else. But with Jacobs, it seems like in the one hole, you never really have great running backs falling to you in like the 4th through 8th round or so. So it's a little bit tough, and having Jacobs there just makes it a little bit easier because now if we want to sit here and hammer wide receivers, we can do that. Everything is open to us right now.
So there's only one team in the main with those 3.
That's great. So we're unique,
really good. And there's not even that many with 2 of the 3, to be honest.
Okay.
Like relative to other teams I've looked at. So
yeah, I think it's like it's against the law for the Travis Kelce manager not to have Patrick Mahomes in these main events. So someone might arrest him after the draft or her.
Yeah, I was kind of hoping he would go Mahomes because that would have opened up.
That's the thing.
Either Ridley or Devonta for us, but
And the most unique thing now, guys, you see, is those Travis Kelce, Devonta Smith builds. So you take Kelce at the 2 or the 3.
Yeah, Dan and I did that. Dan,
yeah, because then you get that double stack option coming back around.
Dan, I thought Dan came up with that.
No, Andrew. I think actually the first person who did that in a main, Andrew Schellenberg, did that on like the July 4th main.
There you go.
Yeah. So he's trendsetter.
He's just a genius. I mean,
he thought he was so unique, and now there's like 30 of those.
Probably why we can't afford to get him on for a full, even when it's a main.
Well, when La Quinta upgrades you,
yes,
and you get the suite, you don't have time to come on the district. He's in like the bath or something.
That's true.
Yeah,
he's in the sauna. He's in one of those steam baths. Right now, getting his toes clipped.
Yeah, that's it. La Quinta season. Actually, I think Andrew. I don't know that storm was pretty bad in his area. So let's hope the internet's working and all that.
In all seriousness, I hope he's all right.
Come on, he's got the Western Auto girls in his room.
Yeah, that's right. That's a good price on Darren Waller. We took him last night, and we took him at the 303, and the earliest I've seen him go the last couple of days was like the 302. Dan, I wonder if we're in Vegas, we're going to see a 2nd round Waller.
It'll probably happen somewhere. Yeah, for sure. And that's a great price on Keenan Allen there too.
Very, very good.
Don't mind that at all.
Those things I ordered for Vegas came in. They look pretty good.
Oh, that's awesome.
I think people really like them. Yeah, they're good sized. They look pretty good.
So when you fly from Toronto to Las Vegas, is that a direct one, or do you connect somewhere in the States?
I don't do connect.
I know, but
I don't do layovers, dude. I did the first time I went to Vegas for the World Series of Poker. I stopped in Philly. I wanted to kill myself. I was stuck in the airport. I didn't have enough time to do anything. You're between flights. I was literally sitting on the floor watching Walking Dead on my phone for like I don't know how many hours, just between the flights. So I always do direct now. Coming back is going to be harder because it's the red eye. I leave like Saturday night and I'm here like Sunday morning. My wife's really loving that idea. But going there is not bad at all because it's like the evening here and then I get there and it's the evening there. It's like 10 p.m. in Vegas when I get there.
So you said you were doing the red eye on the way back?
Yeah.
Oh, nice. All right.
Yeah.
So you'll be around through dinner time then?
On Saturday, yeah, depending on what time I got to be at the airport. Yeah, it should be.
Oh, yeah. You won't need to be at the airport until like 10 o'clock or something. What time does your red eye take off? Midnight?
Yeah, I think it's literally at midnight.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you're at the airport by even like 10:30,
yeah,
you'll be fine.
True. Nice.
So it's nothing really that surprising here in the first round. Najee Harris, we saw drop last night in our main to like the mid-fifth.
He's value. Have you guys heard?
Bip and I saw him go in the 5th last night too.
5th round, JD.
That is such good value. Have you guys heard? I'm building a fantasy pros with him and McCaffrey right now, and I've got Hurts and Goddard, and then I've got Olave, Lockett, and forgot who I had as my Flowers.
Are you a 6 hour or a 2 hour, JD?
6 hour on that one, and then I had a point to that story.
You were talking about Najee being a value.
That's right. Have you guys heard Cody Carpentier when he was on with our buddy Matty Kiwoom? That was actually a really good discussion. Guys, go check that out on the Player Profiler Network.
Those guys are all over Najee at Fantasy Alarm.
Well,
Roster Watch, excuse me.
I was kind of along that thought process just because usually where the bees are buzzing, if you go to the other flower, you usually get the value. And everyone was loving Warren. And it was becoming to a point, like you say, when Najee's in the fifth, like, especially if he's the way Cody describes him right now, he's in shape. We know that the Pittsburgh's going to use him. Volume-wise, he's done it before, giving us a top season. So I don't know. For me, fourth or fifth round is pretty money to get yourself, especially like if you loaded up at receiver early, Dan, and got maybe yourself a tight end.
Yes, and a couple episodes ago, who did I pick to be this year's Josh Jacobs?
True.
Najee Harris.
And Dan, who did we trade for? I think in episode 1 or 2 of the Owners Lounge.
Yes, Najee Harris.
Najee Harris for one of the 500 leagues. So, guys, go check out the Owners Lounge. By the way, there's we just recently dropped the special for the cut downs and just getting your dynasty teams ready for the season. Anyone you guys are hoping for on this 4-5 turn coming back?
I mean,
well, there's Christian Watson. Yeah,
yeah. I don't think he makes it.
Probably. I mean, I've kind of buying into Drake London at this 4-5 turn as a dangerous pick.
Yep.
I think he's very talented, and I think that he's going to see more targets than some people think, and I think he's got a little alpha in him. So I like who we have in the queue. I put Ramondre Stevenson in the queue.
Yep,
I mean,
nice.
they've cut literally everyone.
Yes,
so it's like all these guys who it's ridiculous. They have him
I would
and
love
Zeke.
Stevenson. I would love Stevenson paired with Jacobs. That would be.
I think Stevenson would be a nice pick for us. It's funny because we took Patrick Mahomes, which obviously is an edge pick, but there's multiple quarterbacks here. I think if we look at the end of the draft, we'll say, would we have preferred if we took T. Higgins and then took a quarterback here at the turn? But I think ideally we want to get a wide receiver, and the other pick should be running back or wide receiver.
Yep.
Yeah, there's.
I totally agree. Because I think we're going to have. I think there's a pretty good chance we're going to have a nice tight end fall to us at the 6-7 turn. I'm not sure if he's got a restraining order against Theo or not. Pat Freiermuth might.
I still have bags. I have bags of Pat Freiermuth. I made one trade. I traded away Pat Freiermuth this morning. It's a good one for you guys to talk about on the Owners Lounge. It's an overpay for my guy Amon-Ra St. Brown, the Sun God, who I think is going to break fantasy this year. And they got Devonta Smith and Pat Freiermuth for Amon-Ra St. Brown and Dalton Schultz. So I took a little haircut there. But guys, I have the greatest tight end of all time on that roster in Dalton Kincaid, so I'll be able to overcome my loss.
See, that's the kind of stuff that has Freiermuth blocking you on his phone.
Well, I have so much Freiermuth in Dynasty. The dab the other day, incredible touchdown celebration. It was one of the best of the preseason. Freiermuth gets a touchdown pass, he drops a dab. He's like 5 years too late on that dab, but it was incredible. You see Hawkinson, we see Stevenson go off the board.
Does that make it a dab since it's like 5 years too late?
Yeah, but Muth is still quite young. He's 23. So
yeah, but that's a dad move, dabbing at this point.
It's certainly a throwback dab. It's a throwback.
Okay,
it's a throwback.
All right.
So we need to get one of these wide receivers here, guys.
I was going to say I'm waiting to see if another color but yellow goes here. Oh, there it is. See Field. So we have a chance here.
London's the fallback. I love London here, but
Watson, London, DJ Moore. I like that.
I'm not even sure. London or DJ Moore. Those are pretty close in my mind.
100%. I think all three are big edge picks, and
I like all three.
All three of them could end up on the wide receiver one line.
Dan, I don't think there's a team we're drafting you and I right now in the slows that don't have London. So,
yeah, very true. I threw a couple more wide receivers in the queue just to, for funsies.
So the annoying thing is that Team 3 and Team 2 both have quarterbacks, so they might snipe us on the guys we want.
One goes off that we didn't even. really consider. So there you go.
Yeah, Mike Williams going off.
Wheels up.
Pretty nice.
We're getting one of our top 4.
I would like to get 2 of our wide receivers here.
Yeah.
And then let's talk about some fallback options. I like who you put in the queue as fallback options because, again, I think we'll see a lot of running backs when we get to, you know, the 612 and the 701, the way that things have been falling. But those wide receivers won't necessarily be there. So we're in great shape, guys. We're going to get, you know, 2 of our wide receivers here. A Watson, Moore, London. We're right there.
Oh yeah, nice. Etienne goes. Oh yeah, look at this, guys. We get to pick. If Watson falls here, and this is
we'll
huge.
get 2 of them here, which is great. And
I never thought. I don't want to say it. I'm gonna wait till the pick goes in. I don't want to jinx anything.
Well, you're getting 2 of them.
Yep.
No, I know, but if that first one falls, man, that's pretty awesome because I did not see that getting there.
And bye week wise, it just throwing it out there. DJ Moore has the week 13 bye to go with Josh Jacobs and Justin Jefferson.
Yep, that's why I put the others in the queue.
But, you know, we just need to score a lot of points in the beginning of the season and not have to worry about week 13 quite as much.
Yep. I mean, really, Deontay Johnson and Brandon Ayuk, I think, kind of belong in the same general tier as these other guys.
Agreed.
At least Deontay Johnson.
Okay, so I do think we still take Moore and we take London. We just need to cut off the week 13 bye guys as much as possible with tiebreakers. And Dan, do you disagree with that?
I will stump for Deontay Johnson over DJ Moore. I think Pickett has looked fantastic as a quarterback this summer, and I think Deontay Johnson, give him some touchdowns. He could rock.
I'm fine with it. JD, are you okay with that?
I'm totally fine with Deontay.
So let's take Drake London and let's just talk about this a little more, or do you want to consider DJ Moore and Deontay Johnson, Dan?
Let's take Drake London for sure.
Okay, so let's take Drake London.
That's Dan answered every question.
And then we're talking about DJ Moore versus Deontay Johnson here, guys. I think that, agreed, the Pittsburgh offense looks like it's trending up. I'm not as into Najee Harris as you guys are. Deontay Johnson has an incredible, high expected targets.
Yep, and what I'm also thinking is you got Deontay Johnson, then we also might be able to get Freiermuth on the 6-7 turn if we choose to do so. So we'd have a little Pittsburgh stack going there.
George Pickens, we got at the at that turn a couple drafts ago with Gilds and Andrews. So multiple Pittsburgh players, we could have access to that. We could even build a secondary stack if we wanted to. Mm-hmm. I'm okay doing it.
It's about the same.
I prefer Moore, but JD, you make the call. Deontay or Moore. 6 seconds.
Go Deontay.
Done
for the bye weeks.
Okay, so we've got our start is Justin Jefferson at the 101. Then we take Patrick Mahomes and Josh Jacobs at the 2-3 turn. And then we just took Drake London and Deontay Johnson at the 4-5 turn. We have 3 wide receivers, a running back, and a quarterback. We're very balanced.
Like how this team is shaping up.
Yeah, me too. Now. Me too. We got to nail this next one, though, guys. This is like the make or break turn for us. Because there's going to be so many players there at that 6-7 turn these days.
It's going to be interesting to see who gets back to us on this.
I do want to stump for later in this draft. I would like to consider Dalton Kincaid add to this build, and not just because I'm standing for him. I really think he gives us spike week potential. And when we get to pushing tight end, if we get him, you could pair him up with like a Higbee or somebody a little less exciting. And I think you're going to like it in the second half of the season when we're trying to make a lot of money. That's the only guy I'm standing for, guys. I'm standing.
I'm just putting guys in the queue.
Freiermuth had just unblocked you, Theo, and then you go and you
listen.
Go on that little rant.
I'll take Freiermuth. I'll take Freiermuth. I think Freiermuth is fine. You notice where Trevor Lawrence goes here, guys. This is a little early for T-Law.
Yeah. Yeah, it is.
And this is like a little bit. Oftentimes you'll see one of the quarterbacks at least fall. Last night in the main I did with Nelson, We almost took Lawrence at the 703, and then he ended up going like 7-6. And this main, he goes at the 504. So this is a quarterback thirsty room.
Like, do we want to go some kind of upside QB and then pair with Cousins? Or no,
no, we're good. We're both.
We got
Mahomes. Yeah, you're getting best. You're thinking you're in a 125 best ball.
Doesn't matter. Either way, I'm thinking best ball.
20x your entry fee on that,
correct,
and that's where you're at, and then switch the format around.
Correct. Apologies, boys. Too many draft boards in my face.
Yeah, I'm drafting again at 10. This is fun.
I don't know how you do it. I was watching you and Nelson, and then I remember you saying you had one after this. I'm like, I don't know how you keep everything straight, man. I could barely keep up with my slow drafts. You know, doing the show, doing all the other stuff.
The days are like merging together. I'm kind of looking forward to the plane ride to Las Vegas. And I have.
Look at this.
Let's let him in.
The appearance.
Oh man. Here he comes.
What's up, buddy?
Shout out to Andrew Schellenberg.
Take a look. Let's get the AMS critique on this so far after 5 rounds. What do you think, brother?
Shout out to me. Where am I looking?
101.
Number 1. Numero uno.
And I'll say we only have one of the only 2 Justin Jefferson, Patrick Mahomes, Josh Jacobs teams in the tournament.
Well, I can see why. I don't like Josh Jacobs at all.
I know you don't, but it allows you to draft wide receivers, Andrew.
Yeah.
And we're trying to get a little Jacobs exposure.
I like it. Hey guys.
How is everything storm-wise?
Oh, easy. I mean, easy for East Coast of the state. I don't know about West Coast. West Coast was hit pretty hard. So
yeah,
yeah, all good here. Just a bit major gusts, but branches down, no power out, so all good.
I had John Lobb on a podcast to talk about the 2024 class, and we talked about your running back at Florida State, Benson. And he's very bullish on him. And we talked about you get the big game this weekend.
Good for college, not great for pros. He had like a catastrophic injury at Oregon that they thought he'd never recover from. It was like out of football for like 18 months.
Who wins this weekend, Andrew?
Florida State.
What's the Vegas line on that game?
LSU 2.5. Yeah.
I'm going to watch that one.
No, I mean, it's marquee. It's Sunday night. It's like a standalone game.
Guys, before we come back to the pick comes closer to us, I'm not used to doing these live drafts on the PP, Theo. So we got to go to a word from our sponsors.
Well, we can skip it. This is de facto. This is an FFPC.
Matt, you heard it here. Theo said we can skip it. I don't want to get in trouble here.
We're playing in the FFPC. This is an FFPC live ad. Shout out to our friends at the FFPC. We've really enjoyed having all this FFPC content this summer, and they'll give us a pass for this one. This is an FFPC ad.
Yep, whole thing. Totally.
Use the code Underworld for $25 off.
And there you go.
Yeah, and get in that Fantasy Pros too. I mean, there's a lot of teams left. We could be looking at overlay here.
Overlay City.
Yeah, and right now, like, when you're drafting a month, 2 months ago, it's really hard to find the value in the draft room at every draft. I'm telling you right now, it's unbelievable. Somebody told me something insane today. I think it was, I think CMC fell to like the 12th spot in the first round, something like that. So there's a lot of spots where you could take advantage right now. Make sure you're drafting on myffpc.com.
Yes.
So you see a little tight end run with Pitts, Goddard, and Kittle at the end of the 5th there.
Yep, and most of the FFPC drafts honestly move faster than this one.
It's true. You get in some and they fly, and then you get in other ones and they're like molasses.
Yeah. Bip and I were done in less than an hour and a half last night in a main, and this one's on pace to go over 2 hours. So.
We want to keep it,
but usually they go somewhere around an hour and a half, an hour 45 minutes.
We can go bang bang on these next 2 pick guys to save some time on the stream if we want. I like the queue right now: Alexander Mattison, James Cook, Rashad White, Jahan Dotson, Jordan Addison, George Pickens. Andrew, anyone you want to push into this queue right now?
No, but I'll take a look. Dan gave me access to his FFPC account today. So
have you ever seen 6 digits in there? Like 6 digits in the total? Isn't that crazy?
It's quite a different experience than what I'm used to when I open up my FFPC.
It's like when you open the Drakes in the morning.
Andrew's gonna go into my all the dynasty leagues where we each have a team, and he's gonna make all sorts of trade offers.
Yeah. Not the ones where we co-own, where we have this. Yeah.
No, not those. The ones where we have separate teams. You're just you're gonna offer me, like Kenny Gainwell for Jonathan Taylor or something.
There you go.
Team 12 is Andrew's burner account.
Just pissing yellow.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well,
not your kind of wide receiver. The Amari Cooper and Tyler Lockett are not your kind of wide receivers.
And Devontae Adams.
Devontae Adams. But the color scheme, it's beautiful. Red and yellow for Andrew.
I was just checking out the league owners. They look it's a triumvirate too. All non-badge. So it looks like a friends group, which I'm in on. I like friends groups.
Yeah, those are fun.
So we got to load a couple more guys into this queue, guys.
Yep.
I do think that wide receiver is going to be extremely sketchy when we get to the following. The 8, 12, 901 is really, really sketchy, but running back is pretty solid there. So I tend to lean wide receiver here. I want to come away with at least one wide receiver here.
Mm-hmm. I'm adding some guys here: Zay Flowers, Gabe Davis, JSN.
I love if we can get Pickens here because I think it could be very consolidated with those two wide receivers.
He makes it back though.
Be awesome if we got him here.
He's going like mid-6, though I would be really surprised. But then again, Watson almost made it to us, so who knows?
Give me James Cook and George Pickens. That would be the ideal turn right here.
Would love James Cook on this turn. Again,
the Kamara suggestion is interesting because I think he'll come back to a really, really big role, and I think they're going to use him correctly. And like Kendre and Jamal Williams, between the tackles and Alvin Kamara out of the backfield as a receiver, I think that could be very helpful if we can survive those first 3 weeks.
You could even pair him with Kendre if you wanted, like this, because Kendre goes late enough.
Dan and I have been taking the Kendre Jamal Williams combination, thinking that week 2 there's going to be one of them you really, really want to play, and then week 3 there's one you're going to really, really want to play. I'm not quite sure how the split will be week 1. I would guess it's going to be, a lot of Jamal Williams with some Kendre mixed in, but I don't know. Kendre has some juice.
Mm-hmm.
Dan, who's the Twins jersey? Is that Delman Young?
No, actually, that is Miguel Sano.
Nice.
Yeah, so it's old.
I didn't realize Hulk Hogan was from your neck of the woods there, Dan.
Yeah, and of course Jesse the Body Ventura was governor of Minnesota. So
that's right. I forgot about that. That's right. He was talking about Jesse too. He was on Rogan.
Yep, yeah. Minnesota is actually a hotbed of pro wrestling, and as a matter of fact, the land that my house is built on used to be part of the Vern Gagne farm, where he had a big barn, and that's where a lot of the wrestlers who wrestled in the 60s, 70s, and 80s trained at.
That's crazy. Awesome. Yeah.
So there's your little bit of trivia for you.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Just sweating these picks, guys.
I know. Well, I was trying to ask the Twins thing, so I don't have to think about Pickens getting back to us.
That would be great.
I don't even want to say his name to get his name out.
I was just going to say
Andrew
the trick
was just happy that Madison went off right away in the 6th, so he didn't have to look at him anymore.
I did it last night, Andrew, at the 7:03.
So if we go Pickens, Taylor. And Deontay, I guess.
Taylor.
You guys want to go Deontay and Pickens?
Yeah, I think it's going to be consolidated. I think it'll be fun. Like, I think Muth is going to get his targets, and then your Harris and Warren. But Calvin Austin, I think, is more of a role player, and Allen Robinson is cooked. And I think those two guys are going to get a lot of, predictable weekly usage. And I think they both finish inside of top 24 wide receivers. That was my prediction, guys. We had this pod today where we did like our big bold predictions, and I said we have 6 wide receivers that are second year guys finish inside of the wide receiver 2 line, top 24, and then 7 inside of the top 30 wide receivers, because Burks, I think, when he comes back, is going to do well. And I wanted to go even more aggressive, but I think all those second-year guys are going to smash.
So here's a question for you guys. Do you think it would be better to go Deontay Johnson, George Pickens, or do you think it would be better to go Deontay Johnson, Pat Freiermuth?
I think Freiermuth.
Because we could go with
Pickens
both of those,
anyways.
and we could still get
Pickens
Dalton
gone.
Kincaid at the 8-9 turn, and then poor Theo living under the roof with
Both of his
both.
girlfriends.
Yes.
We could get Jalen Warren too,
Oh yeah.
and then build it up. Well, I think
This guy
let's
takes James Cook. Watch.
take a step back. James Cook will be a smash pick for us if he's here.
I hope he's got Allen though. I'm pretty sure
and-
he takes him, but
And
Come on.
Good.
Come on.
Come on, guy. Pass him up. He's a scat back. Don't take
Come
him.
on.
all right, so who do you like best out of the wide receivers? I'm guessing you probably want to go wide receiver rather than
Okay,
Told you
Freiermuth.
was
so-
taking him.
They went Cook. Okay, so I think we go Freiermuth plus one of the wide receivers,
Addison,
or is that crazy?
I think I kind of
because
I don't
Addison,
mind-
Addison
I-
JJ could be Deontay and Pickens. You know what I mean?
I don't mind wide receiver either, guys, because I really think
Okay.
we're going to be.
So what if we?
So who's our
what
wide
if we
receiver
did
we want? Let's get the wide receiver out of the way.
I think.
Addison
I
and
mean,
Flowers?
these are a lot of Week 13 guys.
Oh,
true.
true.
I don't know if that matters that much, but we could go Pittman, who I feel pretty good about. We could go JSN, though I think it's a little bit early for him. Jerry Jeudy, this is not a bad spot for him either.
Andrew, who's the wide receiver edge right now?
I would have said Zay.
Flowers. I
Zay?
vote Flowers. I think Flowers has to be one of them.
Okay.
Okay,
I'm good
so
with Zay.
put in Zay.
Okay.
But then we stay away from week 13 on the next one.
Yeah, I think we probably need to.
I think Pittman, with the Flowers pick, Pittman kind of allows him to set it to I don't know. I don't think there's much edge with Pittman. I have a Pittman in the middle of the 8th round in the main.
Yeah, I think it might be Freiermuth here.
I don't mind the Freiermuth pick. I don't mind
the
it at
other
all.
way is to go with one of the Denver wide receivers, but with JSN and Judy, those guys may not be ready right away, and then we're looking at Flowers, who also may not be. doing
Freiermuth
great
and
right away.
Pittman. Freiermuth and Pittman are beginning of the 8th. Flowers is mid 7th. Gabe Davis mid 7th. JSN mid 7th.
All right, guys.
I
Who
think
we going?
Dan sold me on Freiermuth a little bit. I'd like to get exposure to him.
That's
All
fine.
right,
Do it.
Okay.
done.
So
It gives the Pittsburgh Baltimore week 17 stackage.
Oh, Baltimore is.
Oh, Miami.
Yeah.
Never mind.
Yep.
Who's Pittsburgh? Oh, Seattle.
Pittsburgh got Seattle. Yep.
Yeah. See, could have. Yeah, I mean, maybe JSN makes it back with the little. Oh, they took away that little Q from his name. Did they?
No,
it's still there.
It's still
Well,
there.
He might fall. You never know.
You never know. But I think it's unlikely. He usually goes before that.
So, why Pickens with Deontay but not Addison with JJ? Just out of curiosity. Because I feel like if anything, Minnesota's going to put up more aerial numbers than Pittsburgh.
Yeah, I think the question. I think the question is a little bit more. Should we have gone instead of Zay gone Pittman? But I don't know. I mean,
Thing is, we
you could have thrown Addison in there, but I think Zay's got a higher ceiling than Addison just because he's going to.
No, I think Zay's a for sure. I think Zay's for sure. I would have wanted Zay as one of the picks there.
All right, and then we.
I'm just wondering, like theoretically, strategically, why we were cheering Pickens, but then Addison with JJ wouldn't give you the same dynamic.
It would, though. If we did Addison, then we wouldn't have been able to go Zay probably because we'd have been starting to get way too heavy on week 13
Yeah, 13s.
players.
Yeah. Yeah, I think for Judy, this is probably the start of where he starts being takeable, if that's a word. But I think it's like between 7 and 9. So I prefer him in the 8th. Like Judy, the 7th, I feel like it's kind of you're getting a guy at cost almost. But I don't know, Dan. I've really shied away from guys coming in with injuries that are, somewhat significant. If
Yeah.
Going into the season, because we deal with enough during the season, so to already have,
Yeah, it's a very fair point. I'm usually pretty gun shy about those injuries as well.
But it's still fun trying to catch the value. Andrew and I unfortunately took a JT in the third in a fantasy pros we're doing together, like right before the news. It's a good thing we double tapped with Etienne.
Yeah, but it was 311, 309.
Yeah,
what was it?
Yeah.
That's
pre-news. So
yeah.
All right, and then Andrew and I are going to carry the podcast for a minute or two so that JD can go look at our 77. Oh, and Theo's back too, so he can.
Oh, nice.
Can help
I'll go
carry.
look. See, we totally gave Buddy the Buffalo stack, eh? This guy. Not that I ever care about.
I would have voted so hard against Gabe Davis that it would have made your head spin.
No, it was more. Yeah, I was just hoping JC fell to us. I know you didn't want him, but I was hoping JC would fall.
No, I was on James Cook.
Okay,
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah, Cook.
That's
Cook
an
would have been
Andrew
great.
Schellenberg style running back.
Yeah.
Young, pass catching ability, explosiveness. That's all the tenets of an Andrew Schellenberg running back.
Former Florida State commit.
There you go.
Who did you want in this 2 hour, Dan? You said tight end?
Yeah, I think probably pick your favorite tight end. I've got a few in the queue.
Oh,
because we got to get a tight end there sooner or later. I mean,
yeah, I'm wondering if the guy I like is a guy you've put in there. Let's see. So I actually like the second last guy.
Let me look.
Likely.
Yeah, I'm fine with Likely.
And I don't think his bye week has any issue with Pitts.
Right. No, I'm totally fine with that. I didn't put them in any particular order. I was just like, these are 4 tight ends I like. So, and then,
all right.
And actually, Gesicki's bye week conflicts with Pitts anyway. So
yeah, he was the only guy I looked at, but I noticed the bye. So all right,
all right. So there was a little detour into our 77 best ball. Now we return you to regularly scheduled main event.
Exactly.
All right. So yeah. So Addison and JSN both go off in the middle of the 7th.
Mm-hmm.
No surprise there.
So after 7, for those listening, Justin Jefferson, Patrick Mahomes, Josh Jacobs, Drake London, Deontay Johnson, Zay Flowers, and then the Muth as our first tight end off in the 7th round. Buddy's still going yellow. Let's see if he goes another 2 rounds yellow in the 12 spot.
That would definitely be something at that point.
Well, I mean, the way the board is shaping up for him, he's actually can recover here really nicely with some of these running backs. I mean, he can walk out of here with right now there's a few guys in our
guys like James Conner.
Yeah,
James Conner.
I love if he took that player.
Well, Khalil Herbert here. Yeah. You have, the Washington backfield. You have a couple other guys he can kind of make up for it here. Or if he really wants to, he might have Jonathan Taylor with this build.
Which could be great or terrible.
How are we judging this Indianapolis Colts offense? Forget the running backs, but is there Pittman? They have to scheme for Pittman to get the ball in his hands. They don't have enough playmakers. I know they're going to be conservative, but I think maybe it helps Pittman a little bit. The offense is going to be they're going to be inefficient, but I think that they don't have a whole lot of wide receivers right now. There's a lot of injuries. Dan, we talked about 2 nights ago the Jelani Woods thing, and now he's on the IR.
Yeah.
They lack tight ends, and their running backs are maybe without Taylor. This is maybe the worst running back room in football right now.
They might be just sellers this year, honestly. They're unless people really step up, like Evan Hall and the Alec Pierces of the world. Unless those guys step up and really make a significant jump in what we've seen so far, and unless JT really comes back, they could easily be just blowing it up around the air.
I know JT is a great running back, but if your team hinges on whether JT plays or not,
you're in trouble.
Was your team that good anyway?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but what's there to tank for? They have their guy, Anthony Richardson.
100%.
Oh no, I'm not saying they're tanking. I'm just saying they might not like what's around. You know what I mean? And just collect picks and whatever it is they need. Just because, look, Pittman's been there a while. He's gone through. Look at the quarterbacks he's gone through.
Yeah, that guy is
contract year too, I believe.
Yeah, he has not had it easy.
No, so if he doesn't click for whatever reason, him and Richardson don't click in the first few weeks, I wouldn't be surprised if he got moved.
Josh Downs is interesting. I think they're going to use Josh Downs a ton, and people are kind of forgotten about him a little bit. There was a lot of Josh Downs love during rookie draft season.
Yeah.
And now it's kind of like you can get him in the 18th, 19th round. He might be a kind of guy that's a waiver wire pickup during the year.
Yeah, and it was particularly nice too when Twitter started going off about a pass that Downs dropped last weekend. Downs was already down bad in drafts, and he just went down bad even worse.
Well, guys, I'm going to put Sky Moore in the queue because we obviously we have the correlation with. He's in there. Good.
Yeah.
Where are you guys in AJ Dillon?
Neutral, but yeah. I don't think a 12-901 is. I don't know if there's an edge there. I think he falls a little bit lower. I'm always fine with AJ Dillon. I like him, but he's certainly capped upside to start the year.
There was Pittman.
Yeah, he really lasted.
Yeah, he's been dropping. I think people are worried about the whole JT. They're just giving up on the Colts. So the Colts might actually be some value. AR might fall a bit.
I have a mid-8th round Michael Pittman in a main. And I think that's sweet. It was pretty good. It was maybe the 805, maybe? Something like that. Okay. Yeah, I like Khalil Herbert here a lot. If we're trying to play catch-up at RB2, we can get Khalil, and then we can take Rochon a little later in the draft. And have that
Dan, we just took him at 8.5. Pittman.
Yeah, we did.
In that 6 hour.
Yeah. I do like what Team 11 did, though. They took Jonathan Taylor, came back with Michael Pittman. I mean, if Taylor doesn't play, then that's going to help Pittman out. So he's got a little bit of protection there for his Taylor pick. Not a lot, but a little bit. And he's good at running back anyway. When Jonathan Taylor's your running back 4, you got Chubb, Pierce, and Madison. That's it's not a bad place to take a gamble like that.
If I didn't want the money for myself, I would allow him to trade the Madison pick over again and take Dobbins if he really wants a green sticker.
Right.
So much sexier. Dobbins.
So Theo, are we? You want Kincaid on this turn or what?
I mean, I do, but if you guys talk me down, we could be done at tight end.
Bye week 13. I mean, 13. It works with Freiermuth. So they're probably a good tag team. I haven't looked at the compared schedule or anything, but
if Team 2 is committed to the bit, they take Kincaid.
They're totally taking Kincaid. You're right.
Yeah,
they have to.
They might not take him though on the way, because if you look at ADP, he's going 9.
Well, they might not take him because we have Muth. They might risk it.
He's going 9. Exactly. I think they're going to wait, and I think we're going to finally snipe him.
Well, I'm not. I like Kincaid here, and I think that the back half of tight ends is a little less enticing. I love Laporta. I like a couple other guys, but I think Kincaid here we could be kind of done with tight end.
I don't mind taking Kincaid, Theo, when I have another decent tight end. I just don't want him as my sole stud, and then I got 2 scrubs behind him. That's what I don't like with Kincaid. If I have him with Muth, I'm totally fine with that.
Yeah, I'm thinking we might want to go running back as well here and try to, much as I like Khalil Herbert,
Charbonnet.
Well, I'm looking at the Washington guys probably, but because Herbert and Josh Jacobs both have the same bye week, and when we're going this late on running backs,
trying to steer you away from the Washington guys, they're so hard to not draft.
I think that that offense is a little bit underrated right now, and I think that they're going to score some points. And Andrew and I took Antonio Gibson in our draft in this range. I think we took him right here, Andrew, at the 8-12.
Yep, and I put Pirine in as kind of a stopgap at running back too.
I like Pirine with that divisional Jacobs Mahomes.
I'd rather go Charbonnet than Pirine for this.
Definitely for me.
Okay, that's fine. I've got enough Pirine elsewhere, and I get what your point is with Charbonnet, and it makes some sense. I mean, no risk it, no biscuit here.
Theo, I don't think you can get Kincaid.
Then I'll pass on him. I'm just
Okay.
and again, I think that we have Sky Moore here is we have to build a little bit of
we're gonna have to
correlation.
take a wide receiver. That we're going to completely shut out of wide receivers.
Sky Moore, like you want to do Sky Moore and Charbonnet, or you want to do Sky Moore and another receiver?
Sky and a running back is fine.
So do Sky.
I just don't think you can fit in. I just don't think I think we made our bed with the tight end a little bit. I think if we take 2 tight ends in the first 10 rounds, I think that we're kind of boxing ourselves.
I don't disagree with that. Let's do Sky and Charbonnet.
Okay, and what I guess
the two Washington guys just went off.
Well, let me say it differently. What I'd say is that if you'd rather Kincaid, then I think the sacrifice is the running back as opposed to the wide receiver.
Okay, so there's a running back steam right there. So
he has Walker. I don't think he takes Charbonnet, but what do I know?
Well,
Right.
Running back just kind of got a little less attractive with all 3 of those guys going off the board.
Yeah, but I feel like Charbonnet is the last guy of that tier, so I kind of
yeah.
Are you wanting to push off running back another 2 rounds? Is what you're saying?
I'm not scared to do it because we have Josh Jacobs. I think we could take Zamir White later, and we would have really, really expected volume from that backfield.
Oh no, he sniped us.
Okay,
we have to take Kincaid now. No, I'm not even joking. We have to take Kincaid now.
No.
I say we go with Kincaid and Charbonnet. That's my vote.
I like Cortland Sutton here.
I do too. I'll
Why are you the voice of reason, Dan? This is revenge. We need revenge.
Well, I'm not saying we couldn't take Kincaid with Sutton. I think Sutton is just one of the picks for sure.
I think the most dangerous pick here, I think it's probably
the top 2, Sutton and Charbonnet. No,
Andrew, you really hate Sutton. You really hate Sutton that much? I think Sutton's going to get peppered.
I capitulated on Sutton before.
Okay, so I think Sutton. I agree with Dan. I think
didn't hear him
Sutton
say he
stands
doesn't
out
like
here.
Sutton.
Okay, so Sutton for sure.
Let's take Sutton.
Let's do Sutton and Charbonnet.
And then what's our second pick here, though?
I'll throw out Elijah Moore too.
I think that's fine. I think that Kincaid is fine. I think Charbonnet's fine.
I agree. It's one of those 3.
I like
one of those 3.
I like Charbonnet or Kincaid.
Dan,
I don't know
what about
that,
you.
I think Moore is you're just wasting a receiver that's never going to play. We have one running back, guys. I'm all about waiting. You guys know I'll wait till wherever for running back. But Charbonnet's like a good week 17 with our Pittsburgh.
I think it's Charbonnet or Kincaid.
Andrew, Charbonnet or Kincaid?
Of those 2?
Yeah.
Charbonnet.
All right, let's take Charbonnet. I think Charbonnet stands out, and we cover it running back.
I just don't think you can do two tight ends in the first 10 rounds.
Yeah, it's.
Sorry,
I think you. I think
that was a perfect turn, guys. I think that was a perfect turn.
You're kind of committing to putting one of them in a flex.
I think that was a perfect turn. I think if we didn't get Sky Moore, I think getting Sutton is like the consolation prize, and then I think Charbonnet was the pick at running back there. You could have gone Warren maybe, but I don't know that I want to stack like that many Pittsburgh guys. You know.
I've got Charbonnet ahead of Warren pretty comfortably, so I feel good about that.
Same.
I mean, Charbonnet is, if you had a Ken Walker injury, Charbonnet's about as good as it gets because he would get used as a receiver. He could handle a high volume of touches. Like Tank Bigsby and Zach Charbonnet are the 2 like rookie running backs that would see a full on load. Like Jalen Warren would be really, really, really fun. I think he would get capped at a certain level.
Yeah, I agree with that. They're 3 downers, man. Charbonnet's a 3 downer. If he has the opportunity, he can handle it. So pretty good after 9 guys. Justin Jefferson, Drake London, Deontay Johnson, Zay Flowers, and Cortland Sutton at receiver. Patrick Mahomes, Jacobs, and Charbonnet at running back, and Pat Freiermuth at tight end.
All right. I threw a few more guys in the queue.
Dan loves throwing the guys early. You love doing that early queue.
I like to watch them drop off.
Yeah.
All right, I guarantee some of these people are coming back. Yeah, and of course, Team 2 did take Dalton Kincaid, so they are very committed to the Buffalo bit.
Well, it's a nice stack. If you're gonna have a stack, I mean,
they got Christian Watson. That was a really nice pick for them. They
have a nice build. They have a really nice build going. Yeah.
Yep.
Josh Allen with James Cook, Kincaid, Gabe Davis. You got Jamar
Great.
Chase, Ridley, Watson, Gabe Davis, and more.
It's a great build, and I hope we meet him in week 13.
Yep.
That's right.
That would be perfect.
They'll be hurting a little worse than us, I think.
It's funny, man. I've been drafting a lot of Watson. I have not been drafting any other receivers in Green Bay.
Yeah, I've taken some Jaden Reed because he comes cheap. Dukes is kind of getting steamed up to the point where I haven't really been getting much of him.
Yeah.
So A.J. Dillon finally goes off at running back 36.
Yeah, a bit of a tight end run. Kincaid, Schultz, and Higbee.
There goes P. Ryan.
There goes P. Ryan. Yeah, the running backs are kind of tapering. If we could get Gainwell on the way back, that'd be nice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've got 3 running backs in the queue: McKinnon, Gainwell, and Bigsby.
Yeah.
Any of those would be nice for sure. You can probably throw Jalen Warren in there too.
I like Sam Laporta.
Agreed.
I think Sam Laporta gives us a big edge, guys, as a tight end too, and we get the free look as well.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm hoping Laporta makes it back to us.
Yes.
That would be fantastic.
Oh, there we go.
Team 3 is going to get us on this one, though.
Yeah.
I mean, Jalen Warren would be incredible here at the 10-12 for me.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Bigsby would be a nice pick.
Warren or Bigsby and then a Laporta. That would be like the ideal scenario.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't think Warren or Bigsby are gonna
I agree.
Get back though. And the thing we got going for us on Laporta is there are some drafters who just do not like taking rookie tight ends at all. So
I'll throw one other player in for 1101 consideration, just based on our build. Jamal Williams to get off to a fast start.
Yeah.
At first 2 weeks of the season, without, and Kendra might be there at the 12-12.
Mm-hmm.
I think he almost certainly will be. He's been dropping.
He's been dropping.
So let's see what Mojo's got to say about that.
Elson and I took him last night, and I think it was in the 12th round.
Who, Kendra?
Kendra, yep. Or
yeah.
it was relatively late. I think we were between him and Roshan on one pick. We took Roshan, and then Kendra made it all the way back to us.
Yeah, so at 12-12, pretty good chance of Kendra. It looks like he's going right around the early 13th. So,
because I do think that there's something to be said for that, especially in a short contest like this. Like we can hammer running back on the waiver wire, but just getting 12 to 14 points out of Jamal Williams would be a very helpful start.
Yeah, Kendra and Gibson are still my 2 most home players right now.
I don't understand the Elijah Moore at 10-2. What did I miss there? Is that
people are just? I don't know.
People are down on the passing game. I think overall.
Yeah,
I tried to get him at 8-11 in one of my slow mains, and he went in like early 8th. I don't get it. I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't get it
nice
either.
He's dropping. I mean, didn't work out for us, but
7 spot was for sure hoping Elijah would come back. He just picked Njoku and Watson.
Mm-hmm.
He has a pretty nice build actually too.
If he wanted that, he should have done it the opposite order.
I
should have
agree.
gone Elijah Moore first.
Yeah.
I think it's
so Jamal
50.
Williams just went off the board, so
Yeah, that takes that out.
that dream is dead.
Yeah. Team 10 has to stack their dusty wide receivers with dusty running backs in the 9th and the 10th. They do have some sexy guys up top, though. That's cool.
Yes, they do. But you're right; they are a little dusty with their top 3 for sure at wide receiver. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm adding a bunch of names.
okay.
God, we're gonna get one of those names, and I'm gonna leave in triumph when he comes back.
Even Dak, man, like getting Dak in the 10th round.
I think
sweet.
Yeah, that's been happening a lot actually. Dak has been falling.
I think he's got value.
This is one of the first drafts I've seen in a while where he goes over Daniel Jones and Cousins.
Yes.
And over Anthony Richardson too.
Yeah. I'm rooting for Team 11 to get Anthony Richardson at the 11-11. It'd be really lucky for them. That's true. That's true. Make a wish shit out of them at 11-11.
Yeah, that would be.
No, they have Taylor Pittman.
Yeah.
I mean, in theory, have to survive. Properly one pick, really.
So if we don't get Laporta,
we are getting Laporta.
Yeah, we're gonna get Laporta.
Dan just wants to talk about his favorite tight end. Just let him speak.
No. I want to talk about Marvin Mims. I think Mims and Sutton would be a great pair.
Yes, I'll agree on that. I will say,
I mean, we need running back, so we've got to take a running back there. But if our tight end target isn't there, I'm fine dropping down at tight end and just take Mims.
So running back wise, who is your lean, Dan? Roschon Johnson, Ken Gainwell, Jerick McKinnon, Devon Achane, and it's a little early for Kendre Miller.
It's Gainwell.
Yeah, it's probably Gainwell for me. Gainwell or McKinnon. And McKinnon does make some sense with Mahomes. So.
Yes, that's actually valid.
What do you guys think on that?
I mean, I'm not that happy about any of them, to be honest with you. I mean,
here's what I'm saying. What I'm going to do is I'm going to get Laporta at 10-12, and then I'm going to bid you guys adieu before I allow a McKinnon on a team I'm involved in.
He doesn't want to be associated with it.
McKinnon is the free look, so like that is a benefit, right?
Yep.
But I think otherwise, if it weren't for that free look, I would have him behind.
I hope McKinnon catches 2 touchdowns on opening day, just so Dan and I can and JD can let Andrew know about it.
Get your sniff guy to snip it.
So I think we'll dodge. We will dodge team 4.
I got a note from my daughter. It said Sam Laporta no matter what.
Oh, right when you said it, he goes off the board.
Andrew, right when you said it,
you jinxed it.
Now this turn becomes a lot less exciting, guys.
It does.
Yeah.
But
a lot less exciting.
Hey, we still got our Mims sitting out there, so.
Okay, so I think it's Mims with a running back. I think Mims we get our edge back.
Or McKinnon. And I think the decision will be made for us. There's 3 picks left.
Yeah, probably so.
Roschon Johnson's interesting.
Yeah, I threw him in there. I like that upside.
He is, but again, you've got that. He's going to have that same week 13 bye, and not a huge deal, but something to think about
with Jacobs. Yeah.
And with McKinnon, if we get that free look, I mean, I definitely Andrew, close your ears. I definitely like that plus the stack with Mahomes, which pushes him a little bit over Gainwell. If somehow Mims goes, then I would probably just say let's take McKinnon and Gainwell.
I don't hate that.
Well, here's the thing about the free look is it's also a huge benefit because we could always cut McKinnon on Sunday morning.
Exactly.
That's right. When he has 0 points.
No, but dude, that's a valid point. That's a valid point. Now this guy, Mr. Snipey Sniper, who knows what he's going to do over here?
I hope he snipes McKinnon. I kind of talked myself into McKinnon here a little bit.
We're not cutting McKinnon after what? Close your ears again, Andrew. We're not cutting McKinnon after 1 week.
Do you know how hard Dan has to work to get him off of waivers later in the year? Come on, Dan.
That's right.
Come on, Andrew.
Man.
All right.
Okay, I do think
McKinnon.
the correlation. Yeah,
I say McKinnon and Mims.
I think McKinnon.
Let's take McKinnon, and now Mims versus Gainwell is interesting. I think Mims is definitely the much more dangerous pick, but Gainwell is structural need for us.
Are you not putting a bit of water on your Sutton flame that you just drafted in the 8th, or is
no? I
think it's more of a. It's an
anti.
It's anti-Judy. You nailed it, Andrew. That's the best way to describe it. If Judy can't recover, then you have all of it.
Yeah.
Or if Mims is just so good, that he forces his way in. It
so
could be
let's
Sutton early in the Mims.
Let's do. Mims
I have Gainwell in every single team too.
Yeah, let's do
no
Mims. That's a good point.
Let's take McKinnon and Mims.
That's a good point. That's a
all
good
right.
point.
McKinnon.
Yeah, and Mims.
Done.
Yeah.
Mims.
And Mims.
I see what you're saying.
Done.
Okay,
so that it's I would have preferred Laporta, but I think Mims makes that a more dangerous turn.
Yep.
We really need to get Zamir White with this team, guys. He's been falling, but I don't think we should risk it too much because there are Zamir White stands out there.
So Zamir White right now, a la Mojo, Fantasy Mojo.
He's going low.
He's going in the 15th round in the main, beginning of the 15th. So we will probably want to take him in the 14th.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah, it's
that-
going to be
that
14, 12,
15 turn.
1501 is where we're going to need to take him.
You want
Theo,
to take him 1301?
No, I think we'll risk it, but I think if he's there at 14-12, we take
1412.
him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Perfect.
Theo, I would have preferred Sam Laporta was the understatement of the 2023 drafting season.
I know.
Yeah.
Also, Dan, remind me when we do our auction for the FFPC, the first player I'm going to nominate is Jerick McKinnon. Can you remind me? Yeah.
Yes.
I'm gonna get my secretary on that to put a calendar reminder.
Well, I thought we had interns, not secretaries.
Well, I know
This is 2020, 23.
my executive concierge.
Okay. Yes.
Right.
Very nice.
See you guys.
All right.
Have a good night.
Andrew.
Later,
Catch you later.
All right. So after 11, yeah, I think it's good so far. Pretty strong at receiver with JJ, London, Deontay, Flowers, Sutton, and Mims. Cornering that Denver market, Jacobs, Sharps, and McKinnon. Stacked with Mahomes and then Freiermuth.
Yeah. I think, honestly, guys, I think we're pretty much done at receiver.
Agreed.
Other
Agreed.
than, it would be nice to
I'll
snag
say-
one of the Kansas City wide receivers late.
Yeah. Justin
flyer-
Ross.
Yeah.
Justin Ross, guys. You
Yeah.
want to get him here in case that's the thing.
Rasheed Rice, Justin Ross, or
Even MVS, man.
James.
MVS is cheap, and
MVS,
he's
any of
got
those guys.
he's got his role. So you put him in the right week, the week that you need him, he could easily fill in nicely.
MVS is the free look guy. So
Totally.
you want Mahomes to get loose to MVS for 2 touchdowns.
Totally.
And then you take the points and then you cut him after he gets his 2 touchdowns because he'll never play for it again.
Exactly.
Yes.
All right, so our queue starts getting, a little bit beat up. We have the right guys in the queue or the wrong guys. Well, either way you cut it. We had the guys that are more likely to get drafted. Gainwell, Komet, Roshan, and Nico Collins go off the board. I'll load Luke Musgrave in, Dan.
There you go. That's another dangerous one.
I think Chig Okonkwo is interesting with this Kyle Phillips thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's very much. I think he'll be picked before we select again. But if he's
Probably
there,
so,
he's
yeah.
definitely interesting. Elijah Mitchell is interesting. I know, Dan, you don't like Elijah Mitchell.
I like Elijah Mitchell. I like Mitchell. I like any San Fran running back that's, especially their top 2.
I wouldn't say I don't like Elijah Mitchell.
You don't like
don't like
guys who get
drafting him.
injured. You
just
don't like guys who
drafting
get injured.
every carry that Elijah Mitchell has is great until the end when he goes down and comes up clutching his knee.
But the thing is, Dan, as I've said many times, that's that offense. So the same possibility happens for the guy ahead of him. Which is why he's got nice value.
Yeah, though, I mean, nobody's gotten hurt in that offense more than Elijah Mitchell. I will say that.
Well, he's also been there the longest.
True.
Yeah, I almost think that if Musgrave is there, he's an auto pick for us guys because tight end's gotten so beat up.
Yeah, Musgrave would be great. I'm really surprised that Team 10, Team 11 probably is going to go. I don't know why you would go Cousins over Anthony Richardson, honestly. Especially when you're that close to the end and you could just come back around and grab Cousins.
Well, this guy's probably going Richardson.
And you've also got Daniel Jones there too. So, I think the situation was really good for one of them to just grab Richardson and make sure they got him. But maybe they don't want him.
Chig's gone. Juwan's gone. He's probably taking AR on the way back, I'm guessing.
I don't know. He's going very late at quarterback here, so.
Yeah, but he sees Lamar in the 12 spot, so he's not too worried,
Yeah.
I think.
True.
This draft is a long one, guys.
It is.
It is.
Every pick seems to go run most of the clock, no? Compared to other ones?
Yeah, we're over an hour and a quarter into it, and we're just through 11 rounds now.
So we learned, JD, if you pre-record, then it has to be under 2 hours to stream it on Twitter.
Yeah, you were saying that. Well,
So we
can
have
always...
we have to trim it. Well, we could always just trim it and just have it be short, miss around or something. But it was weird because it happened and we're like, what's going on? And there's because if we'd streamed this to Twitter, you could have gone 6 hours. But it's the pre-recorded. It only allows that short time. It was kind of weird. Tajay was in our queue. I like what Team 12 did with Jalen Warren, Bigsby, and Tajay. He's really kind of recovered at running back.
Especially after taking Dalvin, right? He's got like the old dude that's got to roll early, and then he's got like 3 guys that could easily pop.
Yep, and there goes Musgrave.
There goes Musgrave.
So tight end's a little sketchy here, guys.
Yeah, it's all right. It's not sketchy yet. Come on.
It's not sketchy.
It's not It's not sketchy. It's sketchy-ish.
Sketchy.
I think.
Okay.
Yeah. Like I like Hayden Hurst late.
I was literally just about to say, as long as we can get Hayden Hurst, we'll be okay. Because it sounds like he's going to be a tiger monster or a target monster out there in out there in Carolina.
I think for us here, it's probably running back, guys.
Yeah, there's a pretty good chance that's where we're going to need to go.
I will say Rashee Rice. I know he's done it wide receiver, but Dan, of the wide receivers from Kansas City, he might have. I know he's had some drops, but they seem to like him. They get manufactured.
Yeah, but he's got the highest upside out of the guys left. I was going to even say, do you guys think if we didn't take Mims there, and let's say we took Gain or whatever, pick your running back, Gainwell or whoever, and then hope Rashee Rice comes back, would we have liked that better? But
maybe. I mean,
Mims. I think we're going to be happy we have Mims.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What I'm worried about most with Rashee Rice is he kind of seems like he's falling behind some of the other guys a little bit, and you know Richie James is going to be up because he's a punt returner, so he's going to be active every week. And then MVS and Sky Moore, and it seems like Justin Ross might be ahead of Rashee Rice right now. So it gets a little dicey for Rice. So he's got the talent to overcome it for sure, but if they put him on the Sky Moore track or something like that, it could be a rough first year for him.
Yeah,
they retired his jersey at SMU. Isn't that weird? He's like 23 years old, and they retired his jersey. Usually they make the guys be in the league a little longer. Retired. Devon Achane goes. This turn, I think we could consider a tight end, but I think that Jake Ferguson is interesting here. Mm-hmm. But I think it's probably running back.
Probably.
Yeah.
I put some running backs in the queue that Andrew will really hate.
Like we could go running back, and then take Hayden Hurst on the next turn.
Here's a suggestion that Andrew would loathe. Mostert Wilson double tap.
Oh my God, no! That makes me sick. Deal. It's enough. I have to be convinced on one of those guys. Every once in a while, but
until Devon Achane gets healthy, JD, those guys are going to be the show.
So, we're getting Kendra here? No, maybe.
Oh yeah, Kendra, I think would be a smash.
That'd be.
Kendra,
we can even go
be a smash, and then I think probably
Kendra Elijah.
I'm good with that. Dan, I mean Elijah
that.
At the 1301, you can't hate.
Yeah,
especially paired with Kendra. I think that's like a nice pair too.
Yeah.
Say it, Dan. You don't want to take him there. Always hurt, right?
I'll take one for the team.
But with this build, you don't need to rely on him to be like a weekly starter. You need a guy that you're going to get like 4 or 5 starts. And that he does have in his range of outcomes.
Yeah, depending on who else we get at running back. I mean, I'm not sure who else right now we have that's really a weekly starter other than Josh Jacobs.
That's right. That's why, I'm hoping Zamir White will be there at the 14-12. I think he will.
But I think that would be my one concern about going Kendra Elijah Mitchell is we could be looking at guys that are very marginalized to start with, whereas if we get one of Raheem Mostert, Jeff Wilson, we at least know we've got some early season carries coming.
I like Wilson more than Mostert.
Same.
I know that Mostert goes
Mostert
ahead of him a little more.
Yeah.
Where are you at?
That's fine. I've been taking both, but I probably have more Wilson than Mostert right now, so that's fine.
So Wilson is a early round 13 guy. Not my favorite pick, but I see what you're saying, Dan.
Right. Yeah. Just somebody to get us some touches to.
Now, having said that, I don't know. I don't think Mitchell's hurt. Having said that, there is a lot of talk of there goes Mitchell. Anyways, I was going to say of them like pacing CMC. Which would give Mitchell some.
I would have stand for Mitchell. I think we take Kenry Miller, and then this 1301 here. It's probably
Could go Rashid.
one of those, or we could go Rashid. But let's take Kenray.
Let's take Kendry and then take Justin Ross. Like, the problem with Ross is where he's going is kind of on the other side of the board, so it makes it like awkward. Like, you either have to take him at the, you
have to take him at the 14-15 turn.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But he's going like in the
all right. So
let's take Kendry.
He's going like 17.
Jeff Wilson,
I mean?
Is that what?
I think Jeff Wilson stands out.
Wilson.
Dan, let's take Wilson.
Yeah, Wilson. Perfect.
And again, it's not the sexiest pick, but if you look at our running backs, it fits perfectly. You've got Charbonnet there, McKinnon, Miller and Charbonnet most likely, producing not necessarily in week 1, week 2, whereas Jeff Wilson, McKinnon, and Jacobs are giving you that early production.
We can.
I think we can go any direction now. We've got, you know what I mean, Dan? We're pretty set. Like, we're not in desperate need of a specific position at this point.
Yeah, I mean, eventually we'll have to address tight end again, but
yeah,
I think we're fine.
Tight end, smash some more running back depth, pick off a couple receivers, maybe one other receiver at least, and I think we're good.
We need to also discuss tight end too, guys.
Yes.
I like Hayden Hurst. I like Michael Mayer.
I think Hayden Hurst should be number 1 target.
I'm fine with that.
Definitely. I'm not opposed at all to Conklin.
I really like Likely.
I like Likely. I like Mayer a lot, though, guys, because we already have the edge with Muth, where we can wait a couple of weeks and hope that Mayer becomes a thing. I think that, like, talent-wise, he's definitely up there. I know, Dan, you liked him as a prospect. I know JD liked him, and I think with that team, they're going to use him.
I don't even mind Fant later on for that Pittsburgh-Seattle Week 17 stockage.
If we're playing for $1 million, JD, and we put Noah Fant in to try to win that $1 million,
dude, I'll get his face tattooed on my, you know what,
Well, you'd be the only person in America.
Don't get his you know what tattooed on your face. Then
there you go. There you go.
Bada bing. Dan, scroll up the board a little bit.
This is a painfully slow draft, guys.
We
picked
slow.
Jeff Wilson. It feels like we picked him 15 minutes ago.
13th round, mid-13th round. We're what, almost an hour and a half. Yeah,
JJ Zachariason likes our build. Shot me a DM. Love the Marvin Mims pick. So the Marvin Mims pick played well with the crowd, guys.
There we go. Nice.
Let's see. How's that team 12? I got to say, guys, we were kind of like saying that how wide receiver enthusiastic they were, but
they
made up nice.
It together nicely.
Yeah, really
absolutely.
Nice
big hat tip to Team 12. Hat tip to Team 2. Team 2 has not made things easy on us.
No.
So why people get too hung up on those early rounds, man? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what you do in the early rounds. How you do the second half of the draft, in my opinion.
Well, I like what we've done, guys, in rounds like 8 through 13 here. I really would like. I think the 14-15 turn, we got to play it safe.
Yep.
I think it's Zamir White and Hayden Hurst if they're there.
Yeah.
And I think if we miss on Hayden Hurst, then is there another tight end we want to consider here at the 14-15 turn? I think we can probably, if we miss on Hurst, I think we can probably push it to the 16-17.
We can wait, man.
Yeah, because Mayer will be there in the 16-17.
Mayer, Cade Otton, Noah Fant, like I mentioned, like there's guys later on that you can grab that are legit, likely still going like round 16-ish.
Mm-hmm. But guys, I'll say if Mostert is there at the 14-12 for whatever reason, we have to take him. We would have. We would have to.
Yeah, I hate to admit it, but it does kind of make sense at this
point. JD, like no Devon Achane.
No, I don't have to Jonathan Taylor. As soon as you said it, I like made a disgusting face that my wife makes when I start talking to her about football.
Miami had multiple weeks last year out of Wilson and Mostert in that offense, and if one gets hurt, the other would be, extremely useful until Achane gets his feet wet.
Yep. Like, because we grabbed Kendry at the end of the 12th, it would be sexy to have those two running backs. I feel like, back to back, because it's all the reasons you just said, Theo, but as a build, I think it fits way too nicely, and he might actually fall just because people don't like drafting him.
I mean, our wide receivers are really good, guys. Like Jefferson, London, Deontay Johnson, Cortland Sutton. We can wait a week to see what Zay Flowers and Marvin Mims do. But that's really strong with Muth at the tight end and Josh Jacobs and Patrick Mahomes. We just need to figure out. It's the story of our life, guys.
If we can get Ross, if we can get Ross at the 16-17 turn, that's pure money. And then maybe even Myers at that turn, like Myers and Ross at that 16-17 turn is sexy.
Well, I think Ross has been moving up a little bit. Rashee Rice is still sitting here, guys.
He is.
No way.
Yeah.
Oh, if he falls, Dan, I think he's a smash.
Yeah. We've got a lot of RQ left here, guys. And Ty Chandler as a contingent play there.
We could even take both with that Thursday night look.
I do think we're so committed to the Las Vegas running back spot, though, JD. We kind of have to take Zamir at 14-12.
Yeah.
If we had better RB2s, I'd say then let's pass on him.
That's right.
What's wild is Raheem Mostert has not, in the last couple days, has not gone later than 12-12.
It's very weird. This is a very weird fall. Like, what are we doing here?
Well, he's not sexy, right?
No.
There's nothing sexy about him.
Yeah, and he has not lasted. It's been since like middle of August since he's lasted past the 13th round.
Where do you see that, Dan? Where are you looking at that?
I'm looking at the main event scattergram for Raheem Mostert.
Is that on Mojo?
Like if you go to the list at Mojo and click on Mostert's name.
Oh, see, I never knew that. There you go, Fantasyland. Hopefully a couple of you are catching that. So in Fantasy Mojo, if you go to the, like, not the draft board, right? The list format?
Yeah, it's got to be the list. It doesn't work on the draft board. Click on the names and you can kind of see where they're going and what the trend is.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I use that a lot.
Wow, that's awesome, Dan.
Between that and the RotoViz command center for best ball, that's a fantastic way to do it.
Oh, there goes Mostert.
Yeah, Mostert finally went.
Yep, 14-3.
Well, we dare to dream, guys. Yeah, we're the first person that ever dreamed of Raheem.
Of getting Mostert. That's so funny. In the 14th round, it's like do or die.
Well, we should have known he was never going to make it past Dusty running back guy who already has Samaje Perine, Jamal Williams, and now Mostert. So
the guy's 78 years old. He's still drafting main events. You got to love it, guys.
I'm worried about two. I'm worried about that 2 spot taking our Zamir. He's watching us.
Well, if he does, he does. Like the Ty Chandler one is interesting here.
I threw him in there.
People are. I saw.
Sounds like he's the clear 2. No, Dan.
They pick up Gaskin today.
Yeah,
but I think it's Chandler.
Yeah, Chandler's the clear 2.
Yeah, that's pretty good, man. Like I don't mind him being a backup.
And he's going to have, and I think he'll be used as like a weekly, he'll get weekly touches because I don't know if Madison, I don't think they want to run Madison into the ground based on that roster. They look at him as a premium asset, and I think Chandler will be used in the passing game.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I just don't see Madison getting the same amount of run as what Dalvin Cook used to get when Madison was backing him up. I think it's going to be split a little bit more is what their ideal is. Though the first couple weeks it may be a little bit heavier with Madison just while they get Chandler sort of up to speed. Give him a few touches, see what he does with them.
So Zamir White is sitting there, Hayden Hurst is sitting there, but we could be passing up a potential correlation. What is the most important pick to you guys right now, Dan? Which player on our board would you be your favorite to land to us at the 14-15 turn?
I think we've got to get Zamir White.
Yeah.
Because he's, not just because of Josh Jacobs, but because of the fact that he, in his own right, is talented enough, and there's really nothing behind him right now on that depth chart either. So it's not like I don't think it's gonna turn into much of a timeshare if Josh Jacobs goes down. I think it's gonna be pretty heavily tilted towards White, don't you?
Yeah, and he's a like-for-like replacement where I think he'd also see the receiving work. He wouldn't be as productive, obviously, as Jacobs last year, but he would be a top 16 back top 18 back for sure.
Right.
Daniel Carlson pick helps us.
Mm-hmm.
Just got to dodge a few bullets here, guys.
Yeah, so I think we've got, so we know we need one more tight end for sure. Probably a couple more running backs. Don't think we need a quarterback at all. We're probably going to take one more receiver.
Keep an eye on Team 3 here, guys. Team 3 is the one that could snipe us on the tight end. Team 2 has 2 tight ends. Although some of these teams go nuts in the main event and draft like 4 or 5 tight ends. Okay.
Nice. We're good.
So we have one more. Well, this guy just took Ferguson. Maybe he wants to double tap it. He sees that we only have 1 tight end.
Oh, he might want Dalton Knox.
Okay,
nice.
So he's a scumbag, though. He's a scumbag, though.
Yeah, but that's what I was saying. He's watching us. So that's why I said at least it leaves us now Zamir and Hayden, just like we wanted.
Yep. Yeah,
so,
Zamir and Hayden is
beautiful.
Is
Smash
here.
it.
Okay, so we'll take it. But you think you're clever, Team 2, but you're not. And he gets Jonathan Mingo and Rashee Rice.
Yeah.
Which are like 2 decent upside wide receivers.
I still want to be better with you. I still want
he was definitely he got us the Rashee Rice one, the James Cook one. He got us on Kincaid. I mean,
Dan, scroll it a bit more.
Christian Watson,
Sky Moore,
and Christian Watson.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah, he's pretty well sniped us in every even numbered round. Except the only one was Allgaier. Didn't get us there. But yeah, I think every other round.
Gabe Davis. James Cook. Even. We were considering James Cook when he took him.
Yeah, and he took Ridley,
Watson
Cook, Moore. Algier was not a... Algier and Mingo were not
Good job,
snipes.
2-spot.
Yep.
All right, well, you know what, guys? We got our 2 guys. I mean, that's pretty legit. We put those guys in our good vibes right off the bat, right when we took off from round 13. The fact that we got them back both is pretty sweet.
Yes, and Theo, was it you that put Kyron Williams in?
That was me.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I put Kyron. I put Deontay in there just because you were talking about early season production. I did see like a Q or whatever beside his name, so I don't know if he's hurt or not, but he would be like a...
Well, I will say, guys, we do have the situation where I think we're very balanced now at everywhere. So I think we should be greedy and look at the if we ended up with a Ross MVS turn here, you might be loving life sitting in Vegas. That could be the kind of thing where you get a long touchdown to MVS, another touchdown to Ross. You might end up with 2 guys in your flex from the 16th, 17th round.
Don't tell McKinnon short.
Exactly, Dan. But we'll go with I maybe 2 might be overkill, but depending on how this queue goes.
Yeah. And I don't even hate adding another either Michael Meyer or Kate Otten.
Oh, I agree completely. But I think Kyron stands out and Ty Chandler stand out. If we want to go with another running back, they're both handcuffs. They both have receiving ability. Michael Mayer, I love. And then I like the idea of getting a Kansas City wide receiver. We have only a little bit of correlation. MVS to me is not the kind of guy we're going to want to hold. I think for him, it's more of a. But again, in that high-scoring game against Detroit, MVS could end up getting.
And he's one of the most. Theo, sorry to cut you off, but he's one of the most familiar with Mahomes when you think of the guys that are there.
And he's also familiar with MVS, which might hurt MVS a little bit. But it could help. We just need that one game. And I know that sounds crazy for people listening, but this is a short regular season in the FFPC main event. This is not like
12,
a home
12.
league. Yeah,
week 12.
So if you get off to a fast start with a correlation play on week 1, you are liking it. Although I don't want to take MVS. I mean, I want to take Justin Ross. I want to take the unbelievable story.
Same.
Mm-hmm.
Did you put our boy Tucker in there, Dan? I just threw him in there.
Sean? Yeah.
Yeah.
How bad are some of the trade offers you're getting in FFPC Dynasty leagues today, guys?
Oh, yeah. I've got a couple I need to swat down.
I'm going to let a couple of them just die on the vine. When you send me, I'm going to ghost you. When you send me a really, really bad trade offer, I'm just going to ghost you.
There you go.
Is that bad? That's bad dynasty decorum, or is that like a power move?
It's a little bit of both.
Well, from you, they won't get insulted. They'll just think you're too busy You know,
No,
he'll be like,
I'm you know, I'm getting my trades done whenever I can. I sit there like, it's like I have too many dynasty teams right now, you know, but you still got to get a couple trades this time of year. I saw somebody buy a team, and that was the team that I traded with for Amon-Ra St. Brown, and it's a manager that I've been in with a bunch of FFPC leagues, and I'm like, hey man, your team is crap. Let me make a deal with you, and we were able to get Amon-Ra St. Brown today, so it was a good morning.
Hey guys, we're on the clock in the BBT, the 125.
Oh well, let's do. This is a bonus pick for everyone
Yeah.
listening at home. We are also doing a 125 tournament, and that team is kind of running pure.
Here,
so.
I'll list off the roster so far. I'll actually do it from the draft board just so you guys can know what order.
JD, why don't we do a live bring-in of a second board?
Let's do it.
Actually, no. Is that going to complicate things getting your other board up? Or no, you'll be all right. You're a StreamYard pro.
Yeah, it'll be fine. Dan's got this one anyways. I'll just add the other one.
Okay.
Hopefully it doesn't look weird because sometimes it looks weird the way I have my because I'm sharing a window and not a screen.
I can. Yeah. Do you want me to? I can just switch over which one.
If you can switch over, it'll be better for the audience because mine are narrow right now because they're on my big screen and I've got it like split.
All right. Somebody will just have to keep an eye on.
Yeah, I've got it in front of me. I'll keep an eye on it.
I'll keep the main open on my computer too.
So for those tuning in, and I know you guys are dying to know what our roster looks like over here. We start with Bijan in the 9 spot. This is the BBT 125 buy-in for 200 grand. Garrett Wilson in the 2nd round. Darren Waller, Christian Watson, Brendan Ayuk, Rashad White, Jerry Jeudy, and JSN. And right now we're in the ninth round on the clock, and we're looking at guys like. Let's see here. We've got, of course, the quarterbacks, Cousins, Prescott. You got Michael Thomas, who I haven't drafted at all. Sharps is there. Anthony Richardson, Treylon Burks, Jalen Warren, Tank Bigsby, Laporta.
I think Charbonnet is interesting for that build, JD, because we already have JSN, and I think looking at the back half of this draft, I think Geno could come back around to us, and we could end up with like a Seattle correlation. But all these picks are fine with me. Dan?
I've got Sharps, Warren, and Bigsby in there. I mean, I don't even.
Yeah, I think we take Sharp here, and honestly, if it comes back around and Warren or Bigsby are still around, I might want to grab one of them.
Nice.
I think that's fine. That's fine too.
That's what I was going to say. If we can end up with 2 of those, I think that's rock solid behind our top 2 guys because we are a little thin at RB going into the 10th.
All right, we're
Sharps.
Yeah, let's do it. You get the bonus pick, guys. Bonus best ball pick. It's like you're watching a TV show and it's like an extended preview for a movie, like the premiere for like Avengers or something.
Yes.
Well,
this is what we do when the draft is moving slow.
Yeah, well, it's like molasses. Dan and I just dropped the owner's lounge, and the intro I just left it as Dan and I talking about how I finally changed my mind on Ridley after like the whole off season. And then what was it, Dan? You're like, I'll walk you off the ledge, something like that. So that's the run into the intro.
This time of year, man, is just so busy. It's crazy.
It's nuts.
Oh yeah, it was our therapist. We're going to be happy because I was coming around on a player and you were coming around on Ridley. I don't remember who I was coming around on.
Yes, I got you around on. Jahmyr Gibbs.
Was it Gibbs? Okay.
Was Gibbs? Yeah.
Shh, don't tell.
That's the thing about Dan. Is Dan eventually you can break him down and break him down and break him down.
But
it's like Stockholm syndrome. I like beat Dan over the head.
That's
like
hilarious.
a kidnapper, and now
hilarious.
Dan's like I love JSN. I've always loved him.
What was that?
That's going a little far now.
What's that show, The Heist or whatever? That
Stockholm.
Like
it's classic Stockholm syndrome.
Yeah,
He keeps getting with me and Andrew. JD's listening to different podcasts.
But see, to me that's fun because the next time when you're going to your own drafts, you kind of have this whole new like door open. You know, now you've got a whole new option that you can throw into your builds. I kind of like that.
So our friend Billy Muzio and I have a bet, guys, for JSN.
Mm-hmm.
Top 36 wide receiver scorer, and I was looking dead in the water a couple days ago. Billy was letting me have it, and now I got life back, guys. He might miss like one game, or
I think you're good.
Good. He could be.
I think you're good.
He could be back. He could be back right away. It's wild. He's out there with a broken wrist.
Yeah, I'll put it this way. I mean, it looked for a while like Billy really had you, and now all of a sudden not so much. Just the same way it looked like G Dub had me on the Jonathan Taylor bet.
JT, yeah,
Oh yeah, that's a nice $100
that
right
was
there.
hilarious with the
Too bad
bottle of
it's
wine today.
and G Dub went. That's our boy Noah Blum. Great guy.
Absolutely
He's in
great guy.
our Hardway Dynasty League, and I split a team with him in a very very high stakes triflex league, and he pounded the table for Jonathan Taylor in that startup draft. We ended up with him, and hey man, G Dub will survive. That team has become a zero RB team overnight, Dan.
Ouch.
Does this guy snipe us again, guys? Number 2?
Yeah, probably.
Well, if he takes Zamir White,
No, I think he takes Justin Ross here.
well, let's talk about how we want to handle this. Zamir White is the clear pick.
No, we've
What
taken
is-
him.
No, we got
excuse me.
Zamir White.
excuse me.
This
Sorry
is
about
Justin
that.
Ross and Michael Meyer.
Oh, I was looking
Mayor.
at a different. The second draft got me. So the Justin Ross here, I think, is almost a must.
Yep. Assuming
Assuming
Team
2
2
doesn't
lets
take
us
him.
have him because he seems
Yeah.
to be collecting Kansas City pieces
Exactly.
just to try to piss us off.
Okay, so guys, I'll say as a consolation prize, I like Keontae. I know you guys like Sean Tucker, but I think Ross and Mayer is the most dangerous outcome.
I think Chris Evans and Zach Moss, we got to have a conversation about them too, and even Clyde Edwards-Helaire, given that we have.
Devil's advocate on Zach Moss, Dan, is you're going to have to sit there and wait for Zach Moss, and when he comes back, he still might not be the guy.
Right.
I'm not a Zach Moss guy. I rather either take the rookie or not take a.
He makes sense, Dan. If we knew.
Nice. We got Jeff.
Okay,
Let's just
so-
take Ross and Mayers. No?
Okay. Well,
So wait, let's
before
talk
we take
about it.
Ross,
Let's talk about it.
Let's figure out our second pick. We might need the time.
Okay, so I think it's Mayer though, Dan. I know that Zach Moss. When is he going to be back? Week 4?
Yeah, but I think we want to get another running back.
I think Keontae is very very intriguing here, guys. Sean Tucker.
Keontae or Chris Evans, probably for me.
But Dan, we can get Evans on the way back. I'm just saying there's so many running backs left. That's why I'm saying if we take Meyer here, we got a solid tight end 3 with upside. And then we can, these guys you guys are mentioning, Keontae might not, but otherwise, even Keontae, man, there's a while.
I don't know.
Keontae.
I mean, all the running backs like Keontae and Evans are getting steamed up.
Yeah, let's take Ross.
Okay.
Let's take Ross. You guys continue talking about this.
Okay.
So
who do you guys like?
Let me see where Myers is going here.
Unless you guys want to take, like I said, I know you joked about it, but if you guys want to take Fant later, I'm fine with it. I like Fant.
Okay, so Michael Meyer looks like pretty much you got to take him
now.
Well,
I do think Dan, one of the running backs might fall to us, and I'll also say that
I think more than
I'll put Rico Dowdle in that same queue.
Yeah, that's another guy.
So
That's
I think
what I'm
we
saying.
have.
All right,
I
so
think we have.
you want Meyer?
Yeah, let's take Meyer. I think it's
All
the
right.
move, Dan.
Okay.
And I agree with you. The running backs are all appealing, but I will say, Dan, Zach Moss might be there next turn. Some people don't want to touch him.
Yeah. All right. I capitulate.
And Sean Tucker, though, guys. Sean Tucker, I think you were right on there with that. So I think we're in good shape now, and I think that having
I think
Mayer,
we could even Theo. We could even go running back, and with the last pick, take Noah Fant. I don't hate that.
I don't really.
We
why,
gotta
you're really into Noah Fant this year, JD.
I'm just saying. I just don't
we've
mind
gotta get
having
a kicker
extra.
and a defense, though.
Oh shoot, sorry Dan, I forgot. I saw Slim and I was like not thinking kicker defense. You're totally right. This guy's stacking the Buffalo San Fran defenses. You guys ever do that in these redrafts? Take 2 defenses and just ride them all year?
I think if you're going to do it, I think if you're going to do a double defense, you have it be one free look defense. You take Kansas City or Detroit or in previous years, and then you can cut them that night.
Yeah,
I've seen a lot of teams do that. But this year, that team that I don't know. If I could do Kansas City with Washington, I would consider it if I loved how my start to the draft was. But like Dan said, there's so many kind of attractive players at this portion of the draft. I think a lot of times the market hasn't adjusted to some of these handcuff running backs. It's kind of wild.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I just can't see. I mean, if you want to take San Francisco in the 14th, fine. Have your vanity defense, but then taking another defense in the 17th.
It's weird.
You know, and he's looking at. He's got 5 wide receivers, and you know, he didn't draft his third one until the 9th round. You know, he's going to end up wishing that he'd done a little more speculating, I think, with that pick he used on Buffalo. But I don't know. Maybe it's just me. All right, so we're going to go. I think the way to go is we go most likely running back and defense here, and then kicker with the final pick.
Well, I will say I'd love to get either one of those defenses at the bottom of our queue right now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
like you're saying, if there's only one left or something on the way back.
I'm just trying to see if there's an edge at kicker. I don't think so. I think the only one I would say to consider on this run would be if McPherson was there.
Yeah, and there's pretty much no chance he's making it back.
What are we doing with the paused? This is ridiculous.
Is it paused?
Yeah, it's paused. One of these two teams.
What do we?
One of the two teams got. He wants Clyde Edwards-Helaire. Better off with the.
Well, you know what, Theo? I'll have to cut a bit out just to make sure this is under 2.
Well, yeah.
We can probably get our last. We're at 151 right now, so hopefully we can get in.
At least that 18-19 turn, yeah.
You could also just also close the, end it. That people will not the mystery of who our kicker is will never be known.
Yeah.
Theo's looking for suspense.
Now we need these guys to go fast enough to actually get
back.
Oh my god,
dude! Every pick. How does every pick take 40 seconds? Like, I don't get it.
Oh, I don't know. It's a tough one.
When do you guys fly into Vegas, Theo? Dan?
Wednesday, I fly in, and I'm drafting a super bracket on the computer while sitting at the Park MGM waiting to draft an NFFC primetime for 8 o'clock at night on Wednesday night.
Hardcore, dude.
And then we're together on Thursday morning, guys.
Nice.
We got I draft with Dan and Andrew, and then I draft with Dan, JD, and I think Andrew said he's not going to be around for that 12 noon one because of a golf thing.
Yeah.
So I'll be drafting with Dan back to back. I'll be drafting with JD, and then JD, you have another main with Dan. Is that on Saturday? Yeah. And then I draft with Billy on right after the game. We're drafting one of those sicko drafts.
Yeah. Friday might be my poker day. We'll see.
And then Dan has which I wonder where are you going to play poker? Which is the poker room you want to go to?
I usually play Venetian, but I haven't been to Vegas to play poker in a few years now, so I'll have to do my homework, ask around, ask my buddies, see where
there's so many nice new poker rooms, so that's why you can find a game. Yeah,
I kind of, if anyone knows, if anyone's listening, DM me at JD Go District on Twitter. Let me know which poker room you guys have played at recently. That's a good.
And then Dan, we draft on Friday evening, which is like our annual tradition. 3 years in a row, we've done very well with that draft. So we draft together. That's a main on Friday night, and that'll be really, really fun.
What time is that at?
That is 6, I think, Dan. Is it 6 or 7? Yeah, 6 or 7.
Okay. In case I decide to take a break, come see you guys.
Definitely. And we'll be come say what's up to us, everyone. We'll be at the FFPC party for the Lions versus the Chiefs. That'll be fun.
Yep.
Yeah, come see us if you see us in the draft rooms. We got nothing crazy, but just a little something to give out to the first 90 or so degenerates.
Little swag.
Yeah, a little swag, a little souvenir action.
Man, I don't think we're gonna get these last 18 and 19 picks.
It's unbelievable, Dan.
Well,
this 17th round. I've never seen a 17th round go so slow in my life. It's unbelievable.
There's a lot of big decisions to be made here, JD. It's going to make or break some teams.
I don't get it. This guy got Evan Holland, Deion Jackson, though. Congrats to him. That's a pretty sweet stack there.
Yeah, not bad. I mean, he was coming around the corner there, so yeah, it's a little easier to make.
And he gets Zach Moss.
Zach Moss, yeah.
Look at that.
Yeah, that's one way to do it.
I mean, then you're basically drafting 3 guys in a potential split. I think you pick a horse, and then you go with it. You don't want to keep banging away on bad offenses and keep drafting guys from bad offenses.
I agree. Pick a horse. At worst, you stick with Hull and Jackson and you drop a guy after the first week or two. But taking the 3, like you said, Theo, I don't think Zach Moss is ever taking over that backfield, ever. Doesn't matter if he's the last guy standing.
He definitely could. He could be like, but again, like it could be a super annoying split. Like Moss could get the goal line in an offense where Anthony Richardson's always a threat around the goal line. And Moss could be like the 15 carry guy on and end up with a lot of like 15 for like 57 type games, 65 and no touchdown.
No, that's boring, Theo. Come on,
it's incredibly boring.
18th round, man. I want some pop. I want something exciting.
Come on, Team 11. You don't have to take the entire clock every time.
My God. Who's he going to take? He's going to take Alec Pierce. Who's left on that team? Oh no, Pierce is gone.
Yeah, Pierce is gone.
He's going to take Jelani Woods.
Oh, finally we get
There we go. KC defense.
I'm hoping some of these other guys will be a little bit boomerish and not want to take their defense until the last round. We have 3 teams to go who don't have defenses in front of us. We have 3 defenses listed on our queues.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I don't mind any
of those. We get one of them.
The first one with the bye week so far is just so nice.
Oh yeah. And the team that they play, because Washington has Arizona week 1. It's just delightful.
Yes. Yeah, today I had to take Brian Robinson over Gibby just because I have way too much Gibby. But I noticed that first week, I was like, yeah, that could be a smash week right there.
Dan and I have an NFFC with the do we have 2 Dan with the double tap?
Oh, with both guys?
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah.
I think we do. These
you want that in redraft?
No, but I think when I push running back completely, then that's like the stopgap.
Yeah,
where you can draft both of them. But like the team that I did that on was a true 0 RB team in NFFC, which is like, it was I have a Waller and I have Lamar Jackson and a bunch of wide receivers, and then I took those 2 guys, and then I got Tank Bigsby, Elijah Mitchell, and a couple other guys.
Yeah, like they become kind of your RB1, the 2 of them combined,
Mm-hmm.
in a way.
So I think Jacksonville is the smash over Denver. Dan, where are you at?
Agreed. Yeah, I prefer Jacksonville, but Denver's not bad. I mean, I'd be happy either way. Denver has Las Vegas and Washington to start with before going to Miami, then going to Chicago. Jacksonville has...
Well, Jacksonville plays the AFC South, so that's all you need to know.
Right.
So
they start out with Indy, and then it gets a little... They've got KC next, and then it's right back to Houston, so Jacksonville's not too bad early on, too. All right, so we got a minute and a half here. Can we get through these 4 picks? And who do we want at running back?
I'll say I tend to lean to the Sean Tucker and Keontae Ingram because I do think that there's a chance that could be Travion Williams, and you saw Chase Brown go. But I do think like Tucker and Ingram are the clear cuffs, and Dowdle would have Deuce Vaughn to be annoying.
I like Tucker for the Kendre, like the New Orleans, Tampa Week 17 action.
Now you're talking, JD. If you had both those guys in a it doesn't matter game going nuts, that would be fun.
Yeah, they could.
I have a ton of Keontae. I think Keontae's probably the better value.
Yeah, so do I. So do I. And I know you have a lot, so that's why I was thinking maybe go a little different. But I'm good.
And I'm neutral here. I can go Keontae or Sean Tucker. But what about you?
Dan wants Chris Evans.
If you really want Chris Evans, this is not the portion of the
draft
I want to.
Dan has like a one-track mind. Like when he's got a guy in his mind, don't even think of trying to convince him to take.
All right, Jacksonville for sure.
Jacksonville, and then you take Chris Evans, Dan. It's not. This is not. These are all potential.
You know what? Take Chris Evans, Dan. I have 0 Chris Evans, and I have a lot of Tucker and a lot of Ingram. So you know what? Go ahead.
Good.
Okay.
JD, take us away, man.
All right, so we'll leave that last one to those that really want to know. Check our DMs, or maybe we'll post the board on the X machine now, I guess it's called. But yeah, guys, appreciate you guys tuning in to watch this live draft, the main event, 2,000 buy-in, $1 million to first place grand prize. We started in the 1 spot when JJ, Patrick Mahomes, Josh Jacobs, Drake London, Deontay Johnson, Zay Flowers, Pat Firemouth, Cortland Sutton, And then Charbonnet, McKinnon, Marvin Mims, Kendre Miller, Jeff Wilson, Zamir White. Tight ends, Hayden Hurst and Michael Meyer with a little Justin Ross sprinkled in between for the Mahomes stack. Defense, Jacksonville, Chris Evans, and then a mysterious kicker will be taken as the last pick.
So this was not, I will say, like, sometimes when you get out of a draft and you feel like really tired from it, then that usually means things went wrong. And I feel like somewhat energized. I think this team, we ended up getting exactly what we wanted most of the back half of the draft. And I think we were able to, like, pivot when we needed to in the first half of the draft. And I think the Jacobs pick was like, I mean, based on the way our team went, the Jacobs pick makes a ton of sense.
Well, we built around that nicely,
yeah,
right?
Yeah.
Like that's you can take that one shot on Jacobs if you build properly around it, and I think we definitely did that. You look at the yellow and then a bit of purple after we took that pick, and then we just smashed depth at running back, which is what you want to do anyways.
Michael Mayer and Zamir White, week 17 against Indianapolis, go nuts, JD, on our team.
Yeah, and you can argue too that the Jacobs pick was what opened us up to being able to do all the stuff that we did. If it would have been a completely different draft if we hadn't gone Jacobs there.
Man, this is like even usually the last round just flies. You know what I mean? Like guys just, and it's like just every pick.
Yeah.
Well, we did pick up a little bit of speed because we're finishing up here at it's going to be about 8:06 when we finish up. So
only have like 6 minutes.
It was looking like it was going to be like 8:30.
And I'll say a shout out to teams 1, 2, and 3 though, who did it right with the naked QB. When you get this this unbelievable advantage, you don't need to take a backup.
I bet you, Theo, that half of those guys that have 3 QBs, their brains are like mine, and they're just doing too many best balls or whatever, and they're like confused.
No, I feel like a lot of times when people take 3 QBs, it's because they freeze up, and that's the guy they see on the board.
You and Nelson were talking about that today. That's actually very valid.
Yeah,
we're a little bit quick congratulating Team 3 there.
Team 3, I take back my congratulations. You have pulled the double tap of defense, the double tap of Brock. Well, Brock Purdy in the 20th, I can't hate on, guys.
No, it's like Theo started giving him the trophy, and he like takes it back. He's like, no.
Sorry, you don't get your participation trophy.
Oh, not bad. I don't hate it. Josh Downs.
Okay.
At least the guy we talked about.
Dicker, the kicker.
Dicker
the kicker. All right. No better way to end a draft than with Dicker the kicker.
There we go.
Come see us in Vegas.
Totally.
And make sure and subscribe to the Goat District podcast as well. JD and Dan are dropping fire all season long, not just what you see here on Player Profiler YouTube. It's been a great summer, guys. Goat District has crushed it. And now we got to go make some money in Vegas, man.
Yeah, and we have one kind of fun podcast coming up here on Saturday morning. We're going to be doing the It's a Trap.
That's right.
Oh, that is so. If anybody hasn't seen It's a Trap is one of the best things. This predates my involvement with the Goat District, but Dan and JD get 2 really good high stakes players, and they identify their traps for this season. And the guys they have, Noah Riddell, who's a tremendous mind, really, really good high-stakes player, FFPC. And then Mark Garcia, who is our host of First Mover and also competes against Dan and JD and I in a number of high-stakes leagues. And they're really good on fades, guys. So if you're drafting this weekend, make sure you watch this one. Or if you want to, really feel bad about some of the picks you've made, tune in and let Noah Riddell rip your soul out when he tells you your guy was one of his traps.
Totally. No, those two coming on are definitely a staple show, and Dan and I had to squeeze it in. Didn't matter how we did it, but it had to happen on the Goat District before the season started, just for you guys to make sure, give you those last minute tweaks, maybe some last minute trades you want to make in your dynasty teams. Make sure you check out the podcast format out there, and make sure you're subscribed to the correct podcast. Unfortunately, we have a bit of a technical issue with 2 feeds. An older feed has kind of stuck on there, so make sure you've got the newest feed with the latest episodes. And, of course, check out the Goat District channel on YouTube. We appreciate you guys hanging out. Go smash those drafts, and we'll check you all later.